Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my show, The Engelic Show. I am your host, Engelic, Lady E Everett. I am drilled and got the opportunity to sit and chat with my special guest, Mr. F.P. Paul Lounsbury. I had to make sure I said that right.
Yes,
So,
you did it very well. You said it right.
He is a learning and development coordinator for People Inc.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Paul. So good to have you on my channel.
Oh, thank you for having me here. I'm happy to be here.
It's an honor.
Oh.
So, tell me about Paul.
Well, as you said, I'm a learning development coordinator here at People Inc. I've been here at People Inc. for 33 years. Learning development coordinator, I do a lot of training of direct care staff, working with people with disabilities of all levels, and I train on mental health, autism, first aid, CPR, skipper, all of the support needs for people of all levels of care, all levels of needs.
That's interesting.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it is. It's a fun job. It's a great job.
Well, that's good.
Yes.
And it's a good thing you mentioned. I'm going to have a question that I can just put out there right now before I talk about your art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard you're an artist.
Mm-hmm.
How do you support disability pride community?
Disability pride community, disability pride movement. It is, I mean, certainly through a lot of the training that we do and talking with the staff, trying to support people to take the approach of not being ashamed or embarrassed by a person's disability, to promote it, to be proud of it, that it is an integral part of who somebody is. And, we've had conversations about, that in the past there was that whole movement of the 90s for normalization to help people to live normal lives and have normal experiences, and again it was, but and as altruistic as it was meant, is to create lives for people to fit in and be part of society where they've been rejected by society in so many ways. It still was a way of shaming their disability, of viewing their disability as something wrong, as something broken, and taking that motion to be more of, this is who I am. This is, and as we talked about, as your sexuality or your race or your age or your gender, that it's, it's a part of who makes you up, who you are as a person, makes you, you should be proud of that and live that life.
I definitely agree about that. I always, when I go out and talk and speak, I always say, look at me as a person before my disability.
Right.
Because I'm unique in my own way, and you will love me once you get to know me. So.
Everybody does, right? Everybody does. So I get to know you.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, you're right. I mean, it's like, see me as a person. And, whether it's my disability or my sexuality or my age or my gender or whatever, it is a part of me, but it is not all that I am. I'm a fully realized person, and a person's disability is just a part of who they are, and it shouldn't be something that's hidden or ashamed, and I think, I was teaching a class this morning where we were talking about it, and someone made the comment about when children might ask a question about somebody's disability, and you see parents like shoo them away, and it's like, no, it's okay. I mean, it's you can ask. I mean, as long as it's respectful, there are certainly questions that are none of your business, right?
I agree about that. Yeah. Yes.
Right. It's like, it's none of your business, but you can ask. I'm just going to tell you no, right? But none of your business.
I do when it was them when they ask me, I just tell them just like it is. I'm not ashamed. I have a disability. So.
Right. It's like, yeah, and it's not something to be ignored or disrespected. And I think, certainly just in the trainings that we do when we talk about that with staff, to try and get them to celebrate somebody's life, whatever level of ability the person is experiencing and whatever function that they're able to accomplish or not, where they need struggles or supports, it's like, be proud of it. Yeah.
And I got a lot of support, especially with my assistant and my beautiful staff over there.
Yeah. So, and that's just it, to support, not control, not to change, not to guide you to be somebody they think would be, again, normalized. That word that we hear too often.
I've been hearing about that.
Yeah.
And I think it's just,
Yeah.
I know you probably saw that show, What Would You Do?
Yes.
Well, they had a couple of segments on people with disabilities and in employment, and they be working. And there was one person one lady that stepped up and asked the person with the disability, say, can I get somebody that is normal to help me?
Right.
And when she said that, I'm looking like, I wasn't cussing, but I was just hollering right at the TV. I'm like, what the heck wrong with you?
Right? Yeah, you know what? Cussing might have been appropriate at that time.
But I was, but I'm like, Angelic, no. It's TV.
Yeah. And it is. I mean, it is, certainly people who do, it's like, I want somebody who's capable and, viewing the person as incapable of handling whatever question they have or concern they have or whatever need they're having. It's like, give the person the opportunity before you assume that the person's unable to answer your question or meet you.
I definitely agree about that.
We're normal.
Well, I would say unique.
Yeah.
I always say I'm very unique in my own way.
Right. Everybody's unique.
So
hopefully.
I hear you are an artist. So what kind of art do you do as an artist?
I've done a little bit of everything. I've done sculpture and oil painting, acrylic, canvas work, paperwork, watercolors. I tried ceramics for a little while. That didn't work. I'm not very good at that.
I did that one time.
Did you? I'm not a good potter. I don't do pottery well. I have a couple of really ugly pots in my china cabinet. They're about this big. That's about the extent of it. They're ugly. They're really ugly. But I made them, so I'm proud of them. Right? So I keep them. But currently I do what's called functional art, which is painting on like furniture, making art out of useful items. So. I gear towards a little bit of the pop art kind of.
Oh, I like
approach.
pop art.
You like pop art?
Yeah. Pop art is my favorite. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I gear towards that a little. Some things I do are a little. Speaking of cussing, I use a lot of cuss words in some of my works.
Okay. You heard that, my viewers.
So,
You heard that.
Yeah, I have a few tables with swear words all over them and stuff. So. My art isn't always for everybody.
No.
I have some paintings in my home that my partner likes to cover up when his family comes to visit. So it's like some of my artwork isn't appropriate for public display.
Well, it's
according to
their
them.
own opinion. That's why people get their opinions now.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
According to some people, it's not appropriate for. I think it's fine. I'm cool.
Well, but I can't say nothing. I did post on Facebook and say I know what y'all gonna do. My podcast is gonna be explicit, but you know why.
There you go.
So
there you go. Right?
Yes.
It's like well, how should we say? Normal.
But it was on a touchy subject.
Yeah. There you go.
You know how these politics are, but I'm just going to put it out there and I say nothing else about that. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, before we go into that, so I do have a follow-up question before I go into this. Do you support the LGBTQ community?
I am a member of the LGBT.
Oh, you are?
Yes, I am. So, I have been out and proud since the early 80s again. So, been around a while. I've done the marches, I've done the parades, I've done, the political sit-ins and everything. So, yes, I do support the LGBTQ community.
Well, you know how to do it out there. So
yeah, absolutely.
that's
fine.
I have a really good friend that's actually queer.
Mm-hmm.
She's a lesbian, and she's really a really good friend of mine, including my sister. So they live in New York. Okay, but I just have to put it out there. I like
No, that's
follow
fine.
up questions.
I am again just
Yes.
as with disability pride, gay pride. I am not ashamed of anything, and I've been made to be ashamed of myself in the past, and that's not something I'm ever going to live like that. And I don't think anybody should of any for whatever, whether again race, disability, sexuality, gender identity. It's not something.
I agree about that. Because I am a person with a disability, also a person of color, and also I'm diagnosed with lupus. So I'm not ashamed of mentioning about
so
it.
medical, ability, everything, just being a woman yourself as a woman too in our society, in our culture, it's always been a struggle for women.
Yes, but I'm not gonna go there because you know how that is. Meanwhile,
even without politics, just socially, people view people of differences, and how women have been treated.
As I was in the 21st century, and women can do anything men can do. Okay, that's I gotta say that like that. So, meanwhile, how did you start working with people with developmental disabilities?
Completely by accident. I actually had no idea of this line of work, had never heard of group homes, had never really understood disabilities, had very little interaction with people with disabilities. Certainly when I was in high school, grade school in the 60s, 70s. People with disabilities were not part of our school system, were not part of, pep rallies or school events or anything. They were separated. They were different. I saw them, in the special ed class, but that was the extent of it. So anyways, when I started college, I went to a job fair, and I submitted my application for a completely different line of work. It was not for this, and they mixed up my application. They sent it to the wrong company. I had no idea what they were talking about when they called me for an interview. But I was starting college and I wanted a job. So I was working at Wendy's Hamburgers prior to that. And I sold shoes as well for a while. So I did some other things, but I needed something more. So I took the job. I was like, I'd never heard of it, had no idea what I was doing, took the job. And it was confusing. It was, and at the time, in the early 80s, there wasn't a lot of training, there wasn't a lot of information, there was no disability pride, there was no disability support, it was still very much the stereotypical, but I felt like I was doing something. I worked for a while in the field for the resource center down in the Jamestown, Chautauqua County area. I worked for BOCES for a little bit down there. Then I left. I moved to Southern California.
I heard about BOCES. I heard about that. Yes.
Yeah, and that was a great experience, but it was also experience from a school system versus a home or community-based programs. But I moved out to California. I worked for a company out there for a little while that supported people with disabilities who had also spent time in prison. Ex-cons who also had disabilities.
What?
I know. So I worked there for a little while. That was fun.
Well, see, it's good that you mentioned that because I do have a question about that. So it's good that you mentioned that.
All right. Well, I did that I got out of the field for a little bit. Did a few other things. I worked for the fashion industry. I know how stereotypical, right? Getting married and working for the fashion industry. It's like, so I did that for a little while. I worked in the food industry for a while, but I really missed having a job where I felt like I was actually accomplishing something meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the food industry. Yeah, great. You got a good meal. Good for you. I missed having some. So I moved back to Western New York. Had no intentions of being in Buffalo, but ended up here. And I started working at People Inc. It was supposed to be a temporary thing.
Buffalo, because I have a question about that too, but yes.
Yeah, so I've been here ever since I started. It was supposed to be a temporary job, but ended up, I've been here for 33 years. It did. I I did not move on. Well, I like I said, I had no intentions of staying here, but then I met somebody, fell in love, and stayed.
Well, you know how that is when you fall in love with somebody.
Hey, you follow you change your whole world, real goals. But
that's what love got to do with it.
yeah, exactly. yes, many days, too much. But it was So I ended up staying. So I ended up.
It's good that you mentioned it. I have a question about that.
Okay.
So, and I think I'll ask that question now before I go into the other questions.
All right.
I know you have been moving from different cities, but when did you decide to move to Buffalo, New York, and why?
Well, I moved to Buffalo, New York. It wasn't my intention to move here. Like I said, I was living in Southern California. But I wanted to go back to the East Coast, and that was my goal, just to be in the East Coast. And actually, Boston, Massachusetts was where I planned to go. That is where I wanted to go.
Oh, I love Boston.
It's a beautiful place,
yes,
right? Yeah,
yes.
It's amazing. So I that's where I wanted to go. But I had some friends who lived in Buffalo at the time. So I thought, I'm in between jobs, I'm in between stuff, I'm on my way to Boston, but I'll stop, I'll hang out in Buffalo for a little while. And I got my job at People Inc. just temporarily intended because I just was going to stay for a few months, but I wanted to, make a little money while I was here. Like I said, I ended up staying. I ended up meeting somebody, falling in love, and ended up staying. So Buffalo was not, I love Buffalo though. I really like it. It's like, I think sometimes people who grew up here don't always appreciate what Buffalo has to offer.
Oh yeah.
Because we don't always appreciate what we know, more familiar with, what we're with every day, what we see every day. We don't always appreciate, and I think that's a part of it. The history here in Buffalo is amazing. The architecture, the beauty of the area, and the cultures. I mean, it's such a huge mix of cultures here.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and it's just, it's a lot of, I've learned a lot just from being here, so it's a great place.
I love Buffalo, but I love going on vacation too. So.
Oh, yeah.
I know, I went to...
I still like to travel.
I went to Atlanta last year.
Where were you?
I have a family that lives down there on my father's side.
Where?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta.
Yeah. That was it. Hot Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta. Yes. I've never been to Atlanta. I've driven through Atlanta. Mm-hmm. That was the extent of my stay in Atlanta. But I do like to go to other places.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, New Orleans is my big place that I love to go to.
My grandmother been there.
Yeah.
She's a bowler, so she goes a lot more than 30 minutes. Yeah.
It's another place known for its history and culture and food.
So what year did you start working with People Inc.?
It was 1992.
Whoa.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. So, yes, a long time ago. As some of my coworkers like to remind me, I not only started in this field, but also started at People Inc. long before they were even born. And it's just like, oh, yeah, shut up. Right? So, yeah, 92.
92. Okay. Well, I was doing 84, so that was before, that was after me. So.
Okay, so you were born before I started.
Yes.
Yeah. At People Inc. I started in the field in 83, 84.
Oh.
Yeah, so when you were born.
And this is a good question for my really good friend Amy. Hey, shout out to Amy, by the way. What do you do, and what are your duties and responsibilities in your role?
So currently, and I've played a lot of different roles in my career. I've been in a lot of different positions, a lot of different levels, but currently as a learning development coordinator, it's our role to train the staff, support staff who are providing supports and care for people of all different programs and levels of support in whatever area they need training in, whether it's the regulatory trainings that are required by New York State to be certified and qualified to work in the programs, but also too just even struggles that staff are having or struggles that people receiving services are having. How can we train relationships? How can we train people to provide the supports that people need, of all levels? We do a lot of specialized trainings. I was just doing a training at a site recently for a person who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia, trying to help the staff to understand what was happening as the person progresses through that disease and trying to help them to understand better ways to approach that person. Or is it a behavioral thing, or is it a mental health thing that somebody's struggling with, and helping staff to have a better understanding of that, to provide the supports that the person needs.
Very informational, yes.
Hopefully. I like to try to provide information. So.
And very educational too.
Yeah.
What did you learn and educate yourself in the legal system?
In the legal system? Well, there are a lot of legal areas, especially with employees, that we do have to, whether it's from an HR perspective of the legal requirements of employee to employee as well as employee. But I mean, my involvement with the legal area has been minimal, other than what are the rights of certain people's needs and supports that we're providing, and when do we overstep those boundaries, the legal boundaries. I think a lot of people get into this field with the intention to care and help people with disabilities to overcome their struggles, but in many ways they start to violate people's rights because in their fear to protect people or keep people safe, and it comes typically from a place of caring, of a place of good intention, but their intent to keep people safe or to protect people with disabilities from harm. Sometimes they overstep those legal boundaries and violate people's rights to experience life, to have the dignity to take chances in the world, And I think for the most part, when it comes to legal matters, that's the most extent that I would have as far as legal requirements.
Oh, okay.
When I was a supervisor of a group home, I had to know more legal responsibilities, but...
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you guide or teach them in prison?
Well, again, I worked with not people in prison, but people, for a short period I worked with people who had spent time in prison or were in the community. They were out of prison. There was more of helping people to acclimate back into society, but also, that was a hard job there because not only overcoming the stigma and the stereotypes of a person with a disability, but also to somebody who was an ex-con. Many of the people that I worked with at that time, they had gone to prison because they committed an act because they didn't have the supports to have a job, to navigate the world of relationships or the financial world and having a home, and as a result, fell through the cracks and didn't get those supports and ended up committing a crime out of lack of understanding what else could they do to get their needs met. They didn't quite meet the needs to be in a group home, but they didn't quite meet the ability to be independent on their own either, and ended up in prison. So navigating that ability to reintroduce into society as a person with a disability who had also been in a crime, but in many ways a victim themselves. So that was a tough one. That was a hard job, but it was, again, rewarding, and it was educational to myself to see for people from a different perspective.
I agree about that. My little brother got in some bigger trouble.
Yeah.
And was messing with the wrong crowd and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's how come he got locked up.
And I think, especially somebody who's not given the support to navigate that world, who struggles because of their disability, whether because of their inability to process the information at the same rate as someone else, and struggles with understanding, maybe, legal actions versus illegal, and not having that support, it is hard for somebody.
Yes, it is.
It's hard for a lot of people, without a disability, but when you add that extra hurdle on there.
Yeah, I agree about that.
Yeah.
I would say that. What's your favorite holiday?
My favorite holiday, my favorite holiday is Halloween. 100%.
I kind of knew it.
100%. I was just, I've already started decorating. I have already, all year round, we have a lot of plants on our front porch, but some of them are growing out of zombie heads, and there's hands coming. We get a lot of kids walking by going, "Oh my god, oh my god!" Because there's hands coming out of my front lawn.
Oh boy, it's a good thing you said that. In my new corn, expensive, I will be elaborating on that question. So,
All right, yes, but I do love Halloween all year round. I have 2 black cats, Venom and Velino, which means poison in Italian.
Oh.
So my house is filled with skulls and Ouija boards and all kinds of voodoo dolls and things all year round. So.
I just heard they're celebrating Halloween this month at Summer Rain. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Halloween is out. I've already been shopping Halloween stuff.
What?
Yeah, I know. What most people do to decorate for Halloween, I've got set up all year round.
Wow.
So Halloween decorating is over the top for me. Already got the electric chair ready to come out on the front porch this year.
Oh boy.
So yeah, my partner's like, no.
Okay.
But what are the neighbors gonna think? Yeah.
Well, we're done with the question part. So I know I always do a self-care corner, but this time I do a quote corner. So
all right.
I know that you like to do quotes. So you're doing the best you can. Just remember, everything will be okay. Believe me.
That is a good one, and that's a powerful one to live by.
And
I
will be bringing back my self-care corner next month. So yes,
Good.
everybody needs a little self-care.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, in whatever ways they can find it.
I know I do that. So
Mm-hmm.
I got 3 nights that I do. So
Yeah.
yes, put your phone away, leave it on the charger, and watch TV. Yes. Okay, I got a monthly newsletter.
Yeah.
I'm actually starting. I'm almost done with it.
Monthly newsletter.
Yes.
Where is that going to be produced?
MailChimp.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim kind of hooked me up with that. So
Yeah.
I was thinking about something else because I did try another one with Shanita. Shout out to Shanita, by the way. We were doing the Divas, and we had the newsletter.
Yeah.
But it was to a different one.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it already. and it was pretty good. I was gonna go back to that until I found out like how much it was going to be. I'm like, oh no, I'll keep the one I got. So
Yeah.
and if I have to pay, I'll pay because it's a little cheaper than the one that I did. So
Yeah.
yes.
Well, good. It sounds.
So not completely done yet with my newsletter, but when I'm done, I'll let all of you know. But I do have a little sneak peek for y'all. It will be based on a little bit of my show, my podcast, a little bit about Olivia, because definitely I gotta put Olivia on there now. Everywhere I go, Olivia's with me, so. Sorry, y'all, I forgot where I'm going with, but that was a sneak peek, so watch out for that. I would definitely let you know when it's done. So yes.
Nice.
And I will be talking about my new Facebook group by the way as well too. So it's got Engelic everything. Oh, we got this name before it already. Engelic everything. So yes.
Start with the name, fill in the content later.
Yeah.
I like that. I do the same thing.
I even got a video on there too. I got a video on there too from the Engelic show.
Yeah.
So, yes.
There you go.
And pictures. Now, I got to have a spotlight. And I'm always putting something in the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know this one you definitely would like.
Okay.
We a couple of good friends of mine, Dree Riches, that are the founder of Be With Buffalo. The person in charge is Joey. She's really nice and sweet.
Yeah.
And she actually already made me the honorary witch already. So you even send me a t-shirt and everything that says Pride.
Yeah.
And there's the rainbow with the witch and the broom.
Oh, That sounds like a nice design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll wear it next time and show you.
Yeah,
so.
definitely. I would love to see that.
Okay.
I've been to Salem, Massachusetts many times.
What?
I know. I love the history of the witch culture. It's very interesting of how society impacts.
Now they're witchy, wild, and mystical. A group of funny folk dancers. Shaking brooms for charity all over Western New York.
Huh?
And I'm going to be interviewing them actually on my podcast.
Yeah.
So I know you're a little busy, but because of summer rain, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Probably next month.
That'll be a very interesting interview. I think that would be.
And it's gonna be kind of interesting because it's gonna be on a podcast now. So I'm gonna be interviewing not one but three ladies. So I'm gonna have to kind of collaborate with that. So
Cool.
yes. Olivia is now on PayPal. So I will share the link with all of you. It's just the second book for right now, but I'll let you know when the first book will be on there for sale. So I'll let y'all know. So I wanted something different. I got 2 outlets, PayPal and Venmo, and I think I'll do that for PayPal. So
Yeah.
yes.
I have the first book. I never bought the second book. I should buy it.
Yeah, you should.
I should.
Yeah,
I should. Yeah, no, you're right. Okay.
It's really funny.
I guess I shouldn't say that to the author, right? I didn't buy your second one yet.
It was definitely reminding me of food because called Olivia and the Flying Meatball.
All right, I will. I bought
Definitely,
it.
he would
It's
have
gonna be on PayPal. You said.
Okay. And it's really funny you said that. I'm like, well, you learned to buy one then.
I will. I promise.
By the way,
I drove the first one.
and by the way, I'm starting my own self-advocacy group starting in October.
October's a great month.
It's actually going to be based on budget cuts.
Oh.
And on the Medicaid cuts and stuff. Yes, I know. It's all over the news,
Yeah, I know.
I'm not going to go too much about politics, but I'm just saying.
No, but some of those budget cuts, they have a huge impact on what we do.
Well, that's the reason why I want to start the group, because I am putting a stop, even though they passed the bill already, but I'm going to stop doing Medicaid cuts. You hear me, folks? My viewers.
You always have to have your voice heard.
You got that right.
Right.
And thanks to my lovely assistant over there for telling me about it too. I was a little upset about it. That's why I had to do a cuss word out of my podcast because of it.
Trying to refrain the cuss words.
You got that right. Okay.
I love cuss words.
I am looking, hopefully, on the budget cuts. I'm looking for people to let me know if you are interested. Your girl can hook you up. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to flip. Okay. Now, I'm going to elaborate on the question I asked you in my new corner, spilling the tea with Lady E. So, what are you doing for Halloween this year?
What am I doing? Well, every year I always try to go to the haunted houses. Try to hit as many of them as I can. Although, as much as I love them, the chainsaw still gets me every time.
Oh, boy.
I will. You can be a 90-year-old woman. I will knock you down if that chainsaw comes out. But otherwise, I love every bit of it. It's just the chainsaws gets me every time. But I love the thrill of it. I will obviously be decorating. And I don't know. I haven't quite fully made all my decisions. I moved a couple years ago. I used to have a very big apartment, which people know, and I was able to have these big elaborate parties. My new apartment, it's not set up the same, so I can't really have parties like I used to. So, but I still want to try and have definitely some people over, or try to figure out some way to celebrate. I usually start cooking, baking, decorating.
What?
I know.
What about dressing up? I love dressing up.
I dress up.
So.
I absolutely. I usually come to work.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what I'm doing that day at work. But try not to be too graphic. Some people, it can be.
I agree about it because I was Harley Quinn last year for Halloween.
See, and I usually do something bloody.
Mm-hmm. I
like
love Harley Quinn, she is a bloody person.
Yeah, she is.
So
I have come to work with my throat slashed, my eyes out, blood pouring out of my mouth, face, ears. I think I had a knife in my throat one time, and I've had something stabbed into my forehead. So I usually dress up, yes, multiple ways. Halloween, I always look forward to just handing out candy and seeing what people dress up as, and sometimes scaring people is fun.
I'm not really into horror movies, but I'm getting into a new show. It's called Wednesday.
Wednesday, yes. I just watched the last episode of the second season.
Yeah, I'm getting into it.
Part 2 is coming up in a couple of weeks. You just getting into it?
Yeah, I'm just getting into
season 1?
2.
Oh, you just started season 2?
1, and I'm in season 2.
Yeah, it's good.
But I can't wait for the second part because I just found out a really famous good singer's going to be in it. Lady Gaga! Lady Gaga's going to be in the second part.
Joanna Lumley was in this last episode, though, and I love her. She's a great actress, Joanna Lumley. So,
I love the Addams Family, so yes.
Yep.
But I'm thinking about going as Elphaba from Wicked for Halloween.
I'm ashamed to admit I still haven't seen Wicked.
What? And the second movie coming out in November. The second movie's
coming out. I've never seen the first one, but I read the book. I read the book long before the musical even came out. I read the book.
I haven't even seen the musical either.
Yeah.
So, and that's
I never saw the musical. I never saw the movie, but I read the book. The book is very political. It's very dark, which is why I was surprised.
I heard about the musical.
Apparently, from what I've heard about the movie and the musical, it doesn't really relate to the book exactly. The book is much darker.
I'm gonna have to get the book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's intense.
But
it's all about respecting people and people's rights is what the book is all about. So
I agree about that because the book actually basically it talks about how Elphaba and Glenda are kind of queer in the book and also in the musical as well too. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, but the book is a little more violent than from what I understand the movie.
Well, that's the reason they mentioned about it, and they mentioned about
that's very militant.
Why they didn't want to put that in the movie.
So I think they kind of washed a little bit of that out as far as I understand. But I guess I should watch it before I even say that.
I agree about that. It was a really good movie. Me and Noel went to see the first part. Yeah. I cannot wait to see the second part.
Yeah, well, I have it saved on my watch list at home.
Well, you're definitely going to have to watch the first one. There's the second one coming out this year.
I know.
I'm thinking about dressing up as Elphaba because there's a party I want to go. And I didn't get to go.
So you're going to do the whole green? You're going to green? Wow, okay. That'll be it. I'll be interested to see pictures of that.
My Bewitched people have a party they do every year. Yeah. It's called a monster ball at the Stafford Hotel.
I've heard of that. Yes.
And I got a person I'm going with.
Yeah.
And I really want to go.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I want to dress like Elphaba.
The Elphaba.
Yeah.
So that's a commitment to do the whole body green. That's a commitment. Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see that.
Now, this is my social media, because I'm all over social media. Do not forget to use the Engelic Show to like me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram at Lady E Show 4. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Engelic Show. Or go to my website, engelicshow.com. Now, I do have an email for y'all to contact me if you want to be on my show, which is angelieeshow.diva@gmail.com. I usually send, when I get done with the interview, I usually send it Drew that email.
Yeah.
But I figure right now to send it to you by my writer email. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And especially, it doesn't recognize your email anyway. So I'll have to write it down for next time. So, now, I'm about to wrap it up, but I have to put this in here. Usually I do drawback zone, but this time I thought I'd take that out and put a new corner in here. So now it's going to be the fun stuff, or the fun zone coming soon.
Yeah.
I like to joke stuff in there, so.
Oh,
Yes. Something fun and funky. I'm your host, Engelic Everett. This has been another episode of the Engelic Everett Show. I'll just say that. Because I have it, so. Now I want to say thanks to my special guest. Thanks, Paul.
You are welcome. Thank you.
I'm Engelic, and I'm rocking in.